And coming to you live from Angkasa Puri, I'm Jessica Lee, and this is Updates at Noon, making the headlines today. Strong ringgit recovery projection remains optimistic. Joint committee to implement labour force export to Japan. Foreign analysts remain optimistic about the prospects of a strong ringgit recovery in the near future. Minister of Finance Tengku Datuk Sri Zafrul Tengku Abdul Aziz, through a statement released yesterday, said this is based on their overall median projections of the ringgit against the US dollar for the second, third and fourth quarter of 2022, as well as the first quarter of 2023, which stood at 4.37, 4.35, 4.28 and 4.27 respectively. Elaborating further, the minister said for the overall average, foreign analysts' projection of the ringgit against the US dollar for the second, third and fourth quarters of 2022 and the first quarter of 2023 stood at 4.35, 4.37, 4.29 and 4.25 respectively. Meanwhile, Tengku Datuk Sri Zafrul said the ringgit's current depreciation was contributed by temporary factors which included expectations of the global monetary policy situation and the continued tightening of global liquidity, which have alarmed the international investors community. He said another contributor is the weakening of the Chinese yuan due to expectations of a deteriorating China's growth prospects following movement restrictions in major cities. He said the International Monetary Fund, or IMF, has lowered their forecast for China's economic growth to 4.4% from 8.1% in 2021. Besides that, he said the volatile situation of global geopolitical tensions has put pressure on global economies. This has also caused investors to flock to safe haven assets such as gold and the US dollar, putting downwards pressure on various currencies, including the ringgit. Human Resources Minister Datuk Sri M. Saravanan said a joint committee will be set up to implement the Memorandum of Cooperation, or MOC, to send skilled Malaysian workers to work in Japan. The MOC was finalized between the minister and Japanese Justice Minister Yoshihisa Furukawa on Thursday, and the exchange of MOC documents was witnessed by Prime Minister Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob and his Japanese counterpart Fumio Kishida on Friday. Datuk Sri Saravanan, in a statement yesterday, said the Human Resources Ministry will lead the Joint Committee for Malaysia and through the exposure and experience acquired. He said Malaysian workers would have the opportunity to explore the various fields of technology, which is the pulse of the development of the industrial sector in Japan. He also said Japan was identified as a country that offered high wages to skilled workers. Therefore, Malaysian skilled workers who participate in the programs are able to generate higher income as well as increase their socio-economic level. According to Datuk Sri Saravanan, the ceiling of the MOC will also make Malaysia a source country to supply skilled workers to developed countries. However, local skilled workers will only work in Japan for a certain period of time before they return to Malaysia with the skills and experience gained to contribute to the future development of the country. A total of 298,746 premises in the state have been provided with access to fibre optic networks under Phase 1 of the National Digital Network Plan, or JENDELA. Deputy Communications and Multimedia Minister Datuk Zahidi Zainul Abidin said as of the first quarter of this year, mobile broadband speed has been increased to 34.65 megabits per second Mbps. He said 4G mobile broadband coverage in populated areas in Kedah has also been expanded to 97.89%, while in Merbuk it recorded 99.82% up to the first quarter of this year. Datuk Zahidi said the ministry targets to achieve 100% internet access for the people by 2025 under the Jendela plan. However, he explained this process would take a longer time in certain areas, especially if it is related to land acquisition for the construction of telecommunication towers.
Kita nak pohon tanah kepada kerajaan negeri, kerajaan tempatan, tuan tanah, kalangan sultan, kawasan orang asli, dia ambil masa. Jadi kita ada backup plan, kita nak buat satelit. Jadi kalau ada satelit, mana kawasan ni cepat. Kalau 6 bulan lagi ada satelit, 6 bulan seluruh kawasan ni dapat line. Kawasan yang ada blind spot yang tak dapat liputan pun akan dapat liputan. Ini antara usaha kita lah.
The Fisheries Department has assured the rakyat that there is sufficient supply of fish in the country, and the recent surge in demand is caused by panic buying following reports of a food crisis. Its Director General, Muhammad Sufian Sulaiman, said the department always ensured that the supplies were sufficient.
Pada saya harap bahawa janganlah buat apa ni pembelian panik. Tak ada gunanya, because segi kecukupan bekalan tu segi penternakan.
Muhammad Sufian, after launching the campaign to consume freshwater fish, said on average Malaysians consume about 42 kilograms of fish a year. He also said that the department also ensured that fishermen are given technical training to use new technologies such as the Internet of Things or IoT and super-intensive systems to increase productivity. Super-intensive is a technological system that deals with fish-related food security that produces a small footprint, but the results up to 3 times of that. The campaign launched yesterday is an effort by the Fisheries Department to encourage the community to use freshwater fish in their daily cooking menu, thus increasing the demand and production of freshwater fishes. The second series of the Jom Cuti Cuti Malaysia Roadshow program has been implemented to promote domestic tourism and boost marketing activities to revive Malaysia's tourism industry that was severely affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. Tourism Malaysia Director General Datuk Zainuddin Abdul Wahab said various discounts, vouchers and rebates involving product operators, travel agencies, hotels, theme parks and transportation companies under the 2022 Tourism Recovery Plan were being offered in line with the country's transition to the endemic phase. Now, apart from Perak as the first location, 7 other locations were selected for the program, namely at Aeon Mall Nilai, Aeon Mall Bukit Tinggi Klang, Blue Atrium Sunway Pyramid, Aeon Mall Shah Alam, Aeon Mall Kota Baru, Aeon Mall Tebrau City and Aeon Mall Bandaraya Melaka, and the program will end in November. Datuk Zainuddin said Melaka, Pulau Pinang, Langkawi, Port Dickson, Negeri Sembilan and Desaru in Johor were among the most visited destinations by domestic tourists, and hotel occupancy rates had risen dramatically. The 3-day program, which started on Friday, involved 24 industry players, including Sunway Velocity Hotel, Farm in the City, Kereta Api Tanah Melayu Berhad, and Kaimal Travel and Tours Borneo Sindram Berhad that will offer various holiday packages at attractive prices. Still to come, media practitioners honoured as People's Voice National Aspiration. The media practitioners were honoured in a dinner last night organised by the Melaka State Government in conjunction with the 2022 National Journalist Day, Hawana 2022, at the historic city. The main highlight of Hawana 2022 with the theme People's Voice, National Aspiration, which is scheduled to be officiated by Prime Minister Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob today, will be the largest gathering of journalists and media practitioners in the country. The function at A Formosa Resort was attended by Malacca Yang di-Pertua Tun Muhammad Ali Muhammad Rustam and Communications and Multimedia Minister Tan Sri Anwar Musa. A group of 15 media representatives from Indonesia, including the chief of the Indonesian chapter of the Malaysian Indonesian Journalists Association, or ISWAMI, Asro Kamal Rokan, who is also the former managing director of the Antara News Agency, also attended the dinner. On 30th of November last year, the government agreed to set 29th of May as National Journalist Day. The date was chosen to commemorate the publication of the first newspaper in Malaysia, Utusan Melayu, on the 29th of May 1939. Hawana is celebrated to honour the role of media practitioners in Malaysia in delivering information, policies and programs to Malaysians. Humanitarian Care Malaysia Berhad, or MyCare, is aiming to raise 4 million ringgit for its Syria, Yemen and Afghanistan humanitarian aid campaign, which is expected to begin next month. Johor MyCare trustee Dr. Muhammad Zain Kandar said the campaign, which would take place over 2.5 years, will focus on educational development efforts for refugee children in the 3 countries.
Jadi ketiga-tiga negara ini kami akan fokus kepada pendidikan. Kita tahu bahawa pendidikan adalah satu pendekatan yang lestari, yang mana melalui pendidikanlah mereka akan dapat membangunkan negara mereka.
Dr. Muhammad Zain said a total of 1.5 million ringgit each would be used for school construction and humanitarian aid in Syria and Yemen, while the rest would be used for education and humanitarian aid in Afghanistan. According to him, there are more than 7 million Syrian refugees housed in refugee camps on the borders of Jordan, Turkey and Lebanon, and over 6 million refugees in Syria. To date, more than 8.5 million ringgit has been channeled by EconSave through MyCare to assist various projects in and outside the country in the form of welfare, humanitarian education, safety and medical assistance. And that's it from us this afternoon. Wrapping up updates at noon with a reminder of our top story. Strong ringgit recovery projection remains optimistic. Tune in to News at 10, coming up at 10 p.m. on RTM's News Channel. I'm Jessica Lee. Goodbye for now.